Holding every heartbreak, you're my ever and ever before. Forever and evermore.
Are you ready?
Wait,
3, 2, 1.
Ever and ever before is out today.
I just wanted to watch that.
It was
actually.
awful, right? It felt great.
A little scary.
A little
And-
cheesy, some cheese.
We should tell them that we all sing on it.
Yeah, guess what?
We all sing on it.
It's a double duet.
Or a
Quartet.
quartet.
I feel like we're a quartet.
Yeah.
Two
so,
duets at the
here we
same
are.
time.
And we're discussing
Love.
Ever and Ever Before, which is
And
discussing love and all of the wonderful things that come with love. We've never done this before, so
No.
this is a unique first.
We're talking about long form love on a long form video.
Will the
Well
puns
done.
ever end?
Yeah.
I don't
There you
think
are.
so.
No.
So maybe we start with a little bit of a story behind the song.
Luke and Courtney's testimony.
Luke and Courtney's testimony. No, it's not our testimony, but it was a year ago. What day is it today?
Oh no, I mean the whole testimony. Like
No,
how
let's not
did
do
we-
that.
Oh, gosh.
Wait, this song
did we
came
meet?
from you, the two of you?
Yeah,
Came
we were
from
in.
him.
I
Tell her
don't-
the story.
I don't know this. The way I heard about it was Joel just sent me a demo. He's like, "Can you sing on this?" I said, "Okay." So I had no idea.
I actually
So-
wrote dis
Dis,
too.
D-
I didn't
yeah,
write
yes.
this. I wrote dis. Can you sing on dis?
On
So
and I said, "K."
February 13th, 2025, we were on a trip with the kids. We went to Florida, and that is a special day because that is our engage-iversary. So it was our 15-year engage-iversary. And this is super sweet up until the next part, which is, and I decided to go have a shower. And as I was having a shower,
That's sweet.
I started thinking through our love story.
Fully clothed,
Yeah,
by
no.
the way. A fully clothed
I
shower.
started thinking through our love story, and that I was thinking about, we've been engaged. Our engage-iversary was 15 years ago, and that I love her more today than ever and ever before. And that was the thought. And so anyway, I just started singing what ends up, I guess at some level, being the chorus of this song. And
I was in the bathroom and wrote the verses right then and there.
no, he was not. And so anyway, I got out of the shower, got dressed, and then I just sung in this little thing. And obviously you review it a few weeks later, but the premise was that it was, I was 15 years celebrating our engage-iversary, and just thinking through, because I think a lot of times people think, the day you get engaged or the day you get married, like that's the height of your love. And I think the way that love is intended to be is the height of your love should be the days before you put 6 feet on the ground, and so in some cases our love, the engage-iversary or the wedding day, it's just the beginning of your love story. And so part of that was part of the thought of the song was, I love you more.
Did
than
you
ever
sing
and
it
ever
to
before.
Courtney as soon as you stepped out?
No.
Of the
I
Did
did not.
you? But this might be fun. Did you record it on your voice memos?
I will have.
Do you have it?
Ooh.
I don't want to hear it if the water's
Ooh.
running in the background.
Well, I
That's
don't know what.
I
too
don't
much.
think it is.
I know the date.
Okay.
Yes, we do know the date.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Technically, if you just scroll to
Oh, that'd be cute. I want to hear.
Feb.
When did you hear the idea, Coco?
Oh, I do have it.
You have it.
And I didn't. I mean, I have no idea.
Oh, let's see what's on there.
It's gonna be different.
it's only 7 minutes long.
No.
I love you more. I love you more than before. No, I love you.
It's a little bit different, but
I love you more.
Courtney's
are you crying? Is this a moment?
she's crying. It's not a moment. I saw it glisten for a second. I thought, no.
All right, then I put in the verses. Let's
Gosh,
see. It's the
wow.
same date.
Sweet.
February 13th.
Oh.
That's not what it is.
No, we changed that. I
Ooh,
changed
that's a
that
vibe.
part.
Okay.
I changed a few things.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Wow.
So that's
Luke,
actually-
that
I
sounds,
didn't know that.
that sounds so much better than like when you wake up in the middle of the night to
Yeah.
record those, because usually those can sound a little little rough, but that sounds beautiful.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah,
Aw.
I didn't know about that.
Thank
I
you
did it on
for
my phone.
sharing that. I
The
didn't
conception
know.
of the song.
I did not
That's where
know.
it came from.
He
Yeah.
did
How
come out and say,
sweet.
"Hey, I wrote you a song for Valentine's Day." I'm like, "Well, will you show?" No, I was like, he didn't tell me.
Well,
about
I mean,
it.
that's not. Do you really
Hey,
call
just-
that a song? You know, that's
Just
not a
in time
song.
for Valentine's Day this year.
Oh, perfect. I know.
When did you hear it first?
Oh gosh, I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna remember the date. If you
Okay.
did, you'd be like April 19th.
April 19th.
She was so moved.
But the
2025.
first version you heard of this song, I'm assuming, is the same version I heard. Like, did they
Yeah.
both just text us a demo
No,
and be
I
like,
think.
It was a demo at that point.
Yeah, but
it
I
was a
think that
demo.
after the day, because I brought this into a songwriting session, because that obviously, for the people that are watching, that's how a lot of songs start, right? It's just a little bit of a thought, there's a little bit of a lyric, there's a little bit of a melody, and then you kind of leave it, and then you go and you take it to, other people and you discuss it and you hopefully make the song better. And so I think after one of the writing sessions, I played it for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember if you were delighted or you were like, I think you can do better.
that's honest.
Do you
That's
remember?
Because I
honest.
think, truthfully, we went and we redid a lot.
We did. We
That's
did. Well, because
right.
to start, I don't think it was similar to Pioneers, where it was like Pioneers was another song that the quartet sung together.
Yeah.
Where Luke and I started writing this song and you're figuring it out. And then all of a sudden it feels really weird because you're singing a song sort of to each other about the person that you love. And so in both cases, it was like, why don't we have us all sing it together?
It's only natural. Yes.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden the song, because I don't feel like the song really made sense until you guys sung on it.
Yeah.
But on
And I
both
think that
counts.
the first time we did one writing session, and I think it was okay. And I think I remember playing it for Courtney, and whether or not she said it or not, I remember believing it going, I think it's okay.
I think
it
we
needs-
felt the same.
I think
Yeah.
it needs more
If that's
work.
if
So
that's true, like
Yeah.
if that's really how you felt, I was kind of like cute.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wasn't particularly excited when I first heard it.
Yeah.
But what I love about how you two write and work together is that you are relentless about the refinement process, which creates safety, I think, as your kind of like creative partners to be like very honest about what the first feelings are, because then you don't get hurt and run away. You go
Right.
to work. Like you're like, well, I'm going to get it to the point where they love it, which is great, because I think that's what happened with this song is, be it, I feel like Luke and Courtney going and working on the bridge and making it so sweet and so special. And then us working on the verses and getting it to a place where it felt honest and right and like it was coming from all of us.
Yeah.
Now we get to sing it in a way where we're actually telling the story together versus lending vocals, which is a different thing.
So different,
you know?
yeah.
Well, you bring up a good point too, because it's not easy. Like creating something, you know this because I've joked with some of you before, they have created 4 half American, half Australian children together. But like the act of creating is there's a lot of push and pull on bringing something to life. And what I'm proud of with this is like even the recording process is hard and fun. I mean, we must have changed the key.
Gosh, guys.
Can we be honest about that vocal
Yeah,
session?
let's be honest about the
Talk
vocal
about
session.
it.
Oh my gosh.
This is real
We have
talk.
not talked about this.
Real tiny table
we
talk.
have
You're
right
getting
not
now.
it
talked
first.
about this. Because Courtney and I were left to ourselves to figure out how,
Like,
on
for real.
earth to track these vocals. I don't think you were in there when I was singing. I don't think Luke was in there. It was just me and Ted, and I think Courtney might have been in for some of it. And no, not Ted.
Jacob, yeah.
And I personally, when I like to sing vocals, I like to feel comfortable. And that's when I like to hear my vocals, is when I've tracked vocals like this before, sitting on a couch. Just like lean back and like just relaxed. And y'all made this key.
That was not this.
In the stratosphere. It was so high. I have
Well, that is
never
a hard
sung
thing
that
to do.
high in my life.
not a-
My falsetto, I didn't know my falsetto could go to the places that it went for this song. And I honestly was like, I don't like the way this sounds. I don't like the way my voice sounds up here. But the magic was, and this is a testament to Ted as well as a producer and just the trust that the four of us have, was like, even though I didn't feel comfortable with my vocal in the moment, when I heard it back, I was like, okay, the way it blends, the way that my super high falsetto blends with like Joel's lower register. And then when you all come in, then it feels like this tight knit, everybody is serving a purpose and the vocals are fitting into a certain spot. And I think that's very much how our dynamic is in real life. Like we all serve a different tone and voice in this greater conversation of making music together. And it was a good reminder. Very good reminder.
The vocals are tricky because when you've got, Joel and I singing as men, and then you've got the ladies singing as ladies, you've got to pick keys that kind of work for everybody. And the truth is, it's a little bit of a knife's edge trying to figure out, with some of the way that the melodies were written and the lyrics were written, for them to feel effortless in its process. And so
How
I will
did you
say,
feel, Courtney, with
Girl,
the vocal session?
I am so glad you brought that up.
I was dying. We didn't talk about it in the moment. We were trying to stay positive.
We were trying to stay
trying
positive.
to stay so positive.
You were rays of sunshine when you came
Oh
in.
my God. Because
You
we were
know-
trying to hype each other up because we knew how hard it was.
We understood that. I was like, this is stretching you, this is stretching me, because I wouldn't say that's like my key. So it feels like you're being asked to do something that you're like, I don't like singing like that, or I don't like sounding like that, or I don't feel comfortable there. But to your point, I was like, you know what? I'm going to try. I'm going to let loose. I'm going to try different things. And Ted's so great about that, where he's like, hey, do this and now sing it that way. Okay, sing it this way. Like sing it. And he also knows when you're connected and not connected. Like I wasn't connected singing it at first.
I think you did 3 vocal sessions.
3 different keys.
Because we changed the keys multiple times. So we had to have everybody, which is not terribly common either. Usually you just come once, sing it, and you're good. But I think that we changed it so many times that it's...
So like this song was stretching, right?
In many ways.
That's probably what I would say.
Yeah.
In many ways.
But you're right. It sounds like you hear it and you're like, yes. But definitely was not comfortable.
We went to the studio one day for her vocal session. We didn't have a bridge. And Courtney said for years, I'd love for a song to have the lyric evergreen in it. And I was like, evergreen. And so we were just driving in the car to the session together. And I was like, well, honey, we have somewhat of a placeholder for a bridge, but it's not really quite working yet. And so we just took, what was a 30-minute drive? And just started messing around with it. So, one of my favorite lyrics in the song is, even in the winter, we'll be evergreen. Because I think the symbolism of that, because I think everyone talks about new love as this, and it is fun and it's this wonderful experience, but a love that is hard fought for is a more potent and powerful love. And I think that, we've gotten to experience a lot of those moments. And it's, one of the things that Courtney always says to me in marriage that I love is, she's like, hey, just so you know, you're stuck with me. We're going to figure it out. And that's why, I can get teary-eyed thinking about it, because, you're going to go through highs and lows, whether or not you're dating, whether or not you're married, whatever, if you're family. But when you recognize that the love that you have is so potent and powerful, that you will be there through the winters, that you'll be there through, one of my other favorite lines, and even in the summer, you'll be my evening breeze. I feel like that's just so romantic, because that's what love is. When you go through some hard things, there's some beautiful joy on the other side. There is that evening breeze that comes. And so anyway, that was one of my favorite moments of the song, actually.
I love the way you guys are looking at each other right now.
Yeah, no, it was cool. And it just kind of came. Songs don't always
It
work
connected
like
me in a different way to the song, though.
Yes.
Because I was like,
Yes.
this is what I want. This is how I feel. This is what I want to say. Is like, I love words and I love meanings, but like evergreen, when it's like winter and it's snowy, you see the evergreen tree. And so like seasons of life, seasons of marriage.
They're so strong and
They're
steady.
strong and steady. Or when it's so hot, like you're like, life can feel so hot, so pressurized. And then you feel like a cool breeze. You're like, relief, And so just to have like words to, or even just not even words, but words that paint a picture of how it feels. How does it look? And it never looks the same. It never looks one way. You're just going to go through all the seasons. But what's beautiful about love is love doesn't leave. Love always stays.
Ooh, love doesn't leave. That's the next
Leave.
There it
Love
is.
doesn't leave. It's going to be
Let's write it
rap
right
song featuring Momo and Coco.
Hey.
In the key we want to sing
In
it
the
in.
key we want.
You guys sing it in the wrong key.
You can sing it in the wrong key.
I'll be like, you know what? You all going to be in falsetto.
right.
Hey, I will say it's interesting. I didn't know the backstory behind how the bridge came to be until hearing that. Yeah. And it makes so much sense because it was such a well-rounded, like Luke and I tend to bring fragments into a session like you just heard with that idea. Like, what about this bit? What about that bit? But it was such a thoughtful, well-rounded piece. And I love that was the collaboration. And I love that that's what grounded you to the song.
It did, yeah.
And it's a rare opportunity for the four of us because the only part, we're usually like even on Pioneers or on Ever and Ever before, like MŌRIAH and me have our bit and you guys have your bit and then we all come together and sing, you know, sort of four vocals together. But this is this rapid fire, like I sing a line, MŌRIAH sings a line, you sing a line, Luke sings a line, and then we all come together. And I thought even that, singing on behalf of lasting love between the four of us from different perspectives.
And I think it's a proclamation, you know. I've always loved, I told Ted this a bunch of times, who produced it, you know, there's the, you're my ever and ever before, forever and evermore. It's like this rap that wraps up the song in a bow, that it's like, it's declaring your hope for your love.
Yeah.
Like, you're my ever and ever before, forever more. I just thought that was always so nice. And then you get it back into the, I love, you know. So anyway.
I don't think we could have sung this song like 5 years ago or 10 years ago. It's like, you're right. The concept of long love, of evergreen love, the only thing that proves that something is truly evergreen is time.
That's right.
And if it's
We've
tested.
been married now, you know, for me and Joel, 12 years, for you guys, +3, right?
Yeah, 15 years.
15. And so now I think we can look back and it actually carries weight for me to say to Joel, which is not as romantic, but I'm like, I tell him all the time, I like you so much more today than I did when we got married. Like, I just think
she liked me a lot when we got married.
I did, but I like you more because I've seen you under pressure. I've seen you angry. I've seen you insecure. I've seen you fail. I've seen you succeed. I've seen you be kind. I've seen you be unkind. I've seen all different facets of you. And so I can appreciate you more holistically. And we've actually chosen to stay together when it wasn't just lovey and dovey. And I think that's the thing that is important about this song is when you first hear it, you're like, oh, ever after, like lovey, you know, and it sounds that way and it's sweet, but dang, we've had to earn this. Yeah. We have had to earn the ability to sing a sappy love song because because we have chosen, it means something now. Whereas 10 years ago, I don't think it would have been maybe more idealistic. Whereas now it's realistic.
Yeah. Another part of what I think makes this rich is the four of us, like you said, in 12 years and 15 years. 50 years.
50 years, wow.
Wow,
thank
you
you.
guys. You look so great. But is also Josh Kerr and Tyler Hubbard, you know, and Josh doing such a great job always of, you know, kind of creating this sort of sonic landscape, if you will, at the beginning. And then not only that, but him being married to Taylor, Maddie and Taylor, and their collaboration as writing together, obviously they didn't write together in this case, but husband and wife supporting each other there. And then you have Tyler Hubbard and Haley and their kind of dynamic as a married couple and him being a musician in his own right and a writer in his own right. And so there's like, we say it's a quartet, but it's like, it's a, what's an eight? Is there?
Couldn't tell you.
Octet?
Octet.
I don't know if that's a word.
Octet.
It's an octet.
Like an octopus?
That's strange.
Yeah.
Even though October is the 10th month.
I know, that's very confusing.
There's a reason for that, but you know, hey.
We digress. But the beauty of them pouring their own marriage and their own experience and their own heart into a song, and obviously I think in reverse, that's what we hope for listeners, is for this to become a moment for them to see themselves inside this octet, because we're going to keep expanding it outward.
So I have a question. If somebody is listening to this song and they have either just experienced so much disappointment in romance, or they have had love that was then lost, or coming from divorce or breakup or whatever, how do you feel like this song could speak to them, or does it not?
I would actually say two things. One thing I was thinking before that was, yesterday I said to Luke, I think my hope for the song is that people start to love their love and love their marriage. And
Love their love.
don't love my
That's the
marriage
next
or
song
your
after
marriage.
the next song.
Yeah, love your marriage.
Love your love.
Love your love. Another Beats song. But it's like, sometimes we live in a culture that idealizes what we see in front of us instead of just stewarding what you have. So it's like, how are you stewarding your love and investing in it to make it beautiful? It doesn't just happen. So I think my hope for people is like, covenant marriage is powerful. Love your spouse, lay your life down for each other, and like make it beautiful. And what I would say to people who've lost love, or they haven't had someone who has stayed, is that love is a person and love doesn't leave. So until God gives you that desire of your heart, love doesn't leave you. And it's almost like this song, I actually said to you, I was like, it's like a worship song. Because I was like singing like, oh, I love you more than ever before. I felt God's heart, because God's heart is an everlasting love that says no height, no depth, nothing you can do, nothing separates from my love. And so for anyone in heartache or loss, or even in seasons in between where they hope for love to be restored and they're fighting for love, is like, be filled with the immovable love and keep hoping for the redemption of a natural love.
That's well said.
I have a friend right now, many friends, and I know you guys do too, who are going through hard times. I mean, heartbreak. And I'm just constantly reminded of how faithful God is to love us back to life in those broken places. And we all have broken places in different ways. But to give him your desire for covenant marriage love. I know I have so many girlfriends who want to get married and have that. And that's another like heartbreak, because it's a longing, that's not being fulfilled. And it's like, truly let love, the person of love you and give him your desire so he can meet the desire.
Love that,
So good.
Courtney.
So good.
I
love
think that when in a marriage or any type of relationship, when you're reflecting the ultimate love, that's when your love can really bloom. It's when your love can really grow, because otherwise there's just too much pain. There's too much heartache. There's too much, speaking of covenant, too many covenants that have been broken. But when you do get the gift of being able to reflect God's love for us, you are talking about a perfect love. And I think, to your point, I think that's the hope of this song, that it's reflecting that love in all that we do. That's what marriage, I hope people that, that we get to know or come across this song, that they actually ask themselves, like, I know that marriage can't always be easy, so they must be talking about a love that, that they're living out in their own lives. And I think that's our hope for our marriage, is that the ultimate love is being lived out in the way that we love each other, the way that we raise our kids, because that's a love worth sustaining, that's worth fighting for. And I think what you just said, sweetie, is amazing, because I think that's the ultimate hope for a song like this.
Yeah, it's like marriage is the reflection. I love how Joel's always said it. You should say that. You should talk about it. Okay, I'll give you more.
more.
Of like
Joel
how
would
marriage.
love to hear what he said that was so
what
amazing.
is so great about what I say?
Tell me what I usually say.
Maybe you didn't even realize you did it, but you talk about how marriage is a reflection of like how God lays his life down for the church and vice versa. Talk about that.
Well, I'll say this, and I have another follow-on question to you guys from Mariah's, but what I hear you saying, and I resonate so deeply with, is culturally, we're in a have it your way 8-second attention span era, and it's only getting shorter.
You're right.
And then you layer on comparisons, and then you layer on competition. But let's face it, 100 years ago, you had your tiny little community. You had your little village. You had you didn't know about the rock stars or the pop stars or the movie stars. You just knew about your little community, you know? And so the amount of sizing yourself up or thinking, even apps, we were fortunate. We just had the skin of our teeth. None of us,
you're right,
had to deal with the apps. And yet, by the way, side note, so many incredible relationships. MŌRIAH's childhood best friend, Jamie, met the love of her life on an app.
It's
so I'm talking about complications in love that we're facing in 2026 and beyond, that I feel like you're shedding light on. And another piece of that is this art of, an old school word would be the oath.
Yes.
Or the covenant.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, when do we make covenants anymore? Like, you put someone in a lawsuit, maybe you do an LLC or a business partnership, but like a relational covenant in the have it your way, compare yourself, size yourself up to other people, it doesn't make sense. But what I love about what you said, Courtney, is when you drop down into it and you actually go, no, there's a power here. This whole better or worse, sickness or health, I'm going to stand by you. The amount of confidence, I feel as a man because of MŌRIAH's love for me over the last 15 years of going, I might be able to do this thing called life because this person is backing me up. And it wasn't because they gave birth to me. It wasn't because I was born in the same family as them. She's choosing me out of all the humans in the world to be my person. And she's going to make a covenant to me and commit herself to me. It almost feels like it's more powerful today because of everything that's facing it than ever and ever before.
How many jokes can we stick in there?
Something that I remembered that Carrie told us when we did the Becoming Us podcast,
Carrie Hosenbog,
because we had
Becoming Us
book.
It's great.
Because we had a similar conversation that was I think we released an episode around Valentine's Day or something, and this is coming out very close to Valentine's Day. It's speak to the person who dreads February 14th.
Yeah.
It's the last thing they want to hear is a love song on February 14th. Well, everything you guys have said, I think, is so grounding and aligning and a reminder of where we put those hopes and those dreams.
That's
but
right.
also, if you're the type of person who hears a love song around this time and is just angry or cringy or one, I relate, understand, you're not alone. There's nothing wrong with that. But two, what is that anger pointing to?
Yeah.
It's I remember the years before I had before I had a forever friend, that I was just I'm never going to find anyone. I feel misunderstood. I feel like no one gets me. And I can only look at these marriages that have lasted for so long and are seemingly so beautiful and just think that's just not real. There's something like this. That's a presentation because there's no way that exists. I think that the very fact that it brings up a pain point is pointing to the fact that it's a longing. And what do we do with those longings? I remember Carrie saying, when we take our longings to God, what does it look like to put them before God without demanding that He answer that request in a particular way? Okay, God, I'm longing for love. I'm demanding that you make this a super hot guy that comes into my life and just wrecks me and just loves me, and it's just going to be amazing in marriage. It might not look like that.
Yeah.
What does that undemanding, open-ended request look like of going, God, I heard this song ever and ever before, or I watched this podcast, this video, and it reminded me of how much I want what those people have. I want what Luke and Courtney have. I want, the evergreen love that's been tested through fire.
Yeah.
And you see that hole in my heart, and I trust you to fill it in the ways that you know are good for me at the time that you know is good.
Well said.
So good.
It could be a friendship. It could be an animal. It could be going on a solo trip and falling in love with yourself in ways that you've never done before. And then at the right time, in the right place, in the right ways, God tends to bring us all together.
It's almost as though there is I would say completion in under God, but this completion of sort of a understanding of God and you that allows for, and not perfection by any stretch, but that allows for space for someone else to come in. Because I do feel like, I mean, our part of our journey is like, I remember getting to this place of going, all right, I'm really lonely. I'm accepting that. I really would love, I remember I was on the lawn mower just at mum and dad's and I was, and I was just crying out to God and I was like, hey, look, I'm really lonely. And it would be great if, she was beautiful and it would be great if there was a really great love story.
I love those versions. Like, if you don't mind, when you have time.
But what I most want is a friend, and then ironically the next weekend was Luke and Courtney's wedding, and that's where I met MŌRIAH. Fun fact.
Just a little gift.
Just a little,
From
the
heaven.
greatest gift that
ding,
Courtney
ding.
You were wearing
approved.
lavender.
She was. I remember
I
it well.
was so aware of you. I was like,
Same here.
Joel,
hey, on my wedding day, being aware of what's happening in the
I could
room.
not believe that you let a
Girl, I
stranger
knew
come to your wedding.
I knew exactly what was happening.
Yeah.
Though. I was like, for
She
Joel,
let
yes.
MŌRIAH come.
So,
I did ask
sweetie,
questions. I was like, tell me more about her.
Tell the story,
So
sweetie.
sweet.
How did that happen? How did they come to the wedding?
Well, there's this woman named Wendy. And have you ever heard of Facebook? Okay. She messaged me on Facebook about this girl, MŌRIAH, and gave me all, I was like, tell me more.
She messaged you on Facebook?
Oh, yeah. I
This is
probably
like the
still
week
did
of
not
the
know
wedding.
that. Yeah. And
right?
she told me all this stuff. She's like, I really feel like she should meet Joel. And I was like, Joel, I mean, you were very pitiful at the time. You were a third
Joel was
wheel.
a little bit
He
like
was
a
always,
dog.
you know, I was like, he's
I
so
was
a
their
sad.
third wheel. I
For
would
a
hang out
while,
with them.
I have so many pictures of me and Luke and Joel.
But for the record, who
I was like, we gotta get him a
who
girl.
knew you before Luke?
That's true.
Who did VBS together on stage?
No, but I knew her then.
Yeah, but we had a not a thing, but we
had
had
no thing.
we no thing,
You guys,
no
Luke
thing.
won
Zero
in the
thing.
end.
But
It's
we
okay.
were
friends.
buddies.
And did you remember when we did our lines? You were like, "Wow, you're actually really intense." Like you're very diligent.
Yeah.
I'm like,
this was
it kind
blonde.
of shocked
This was
you.
blonde Courtney.
I was like,
era.
do it 5 times more, and you'll probably do it right. So
So good.
somehow he loved it. It was
Anyway,
like
yeah.
it's great.
But I was your plus one.
I always viewed
was your
Joel
third.
at that period of time. You know when you see the
was
stray
sad.
dog walking down the street
Babe, it's so sad.
and he's just like looking from one
Look at-
side
there he is.
to the next, and that's the countenance that he had, a little bit like a stray dog walking down the street. He wasn't necessarily
Wow.
hungry.
His
all
paws
been-
are going.
He
We've all
wasn't
been
necessarily hungry.
We've all
he
been
was just a
lost.
little sad.
And let me tell you, Joel is so diligent. He's so faithful. He was like really holding out. So then it broke
Okay,
my
so keep
heart.
going- keep
I was
going
like,
with
this
the
girl better
story.
be real good.
Yeah.
Keep going
because
with the
he
story.
is
Yeah.
precious. And then she told me all the things, and I was like, bring her. And I was so
She was a
aware
wedding
Hey
of
Joel,
MŌRIAH.
can you please tell the story where you kind of made your way in, and I think was it
It was so cute.
Ben Utek was there as well, our
Oh,
friend.
guys.
Hey, you caught my garter,
This
too.
is a
You
great.
did? He did?
I had
He
a
did?
drawer full of garters that
You
MŌRIAH.
fought for it.
Which was very
I did.
alarming.
No,
when
but
I
you
first
need to
met him.
tell
I
the
was like,
story
why do you
about
have
how you kind of weaseled your way into
That was for you.
conversation
Listen.
because it's pretty funny.
Listen, Linda. I was not in good form in that era and
form,
at the
you were
wedding.
fine. You were
I was,
fine.
but I was
You were a
a
little sad.
27-year-old or 26-year-old
Yeah.
And a little straight.
failed at kind of life, like failed at love so far,
No.
failed at career so far. And
dark
I remember
times,
thinking
dark
on that
days.
said lawnmower the week before, what if someone would come to their wedding?
And what did you say
And
to
I
yourself?
dismissed it immediately. I thought, because it's like we're going to know everyone. It's a smaller
Yeah.
wedding.
Joel was like, I know
Yeah,
everyone's
yeah,
coming to the
everyone-
wedding.
everyone's
no
coming.
way.
So ceremony happens. Lovely wedding. They had a lovely wedding, by the way. It was just
Sweetest
at the
wedding
Franklin
ever.
factory,
Oh, so
building
beautiful.
8. And
So beautiful.
I had not seen MŌRIAH yet. And afterwards, they had the reception in the same room. So we flipped the room. And afterwards, in between the ceremony and the reception, Wendy, who Facebooked Courtney, came up and said, I turned around. I will never forget turning around and seeing this young lady in the lavender dress. It wasn't a dress, it was a shirt. Blouse. Thank you. It was a blouse.
I don't
And
understand the difference.
just being reasonably overwhelmed by her and her beauty and her confidence. Like MŌRIAH just had a confidence
Yeah.
and an assurance about
Yes.
herself that was really
Firm.
powerful. So the rest of the night, I took it upon myself to find sort of points that I could make contact. So
Make contact.
Maybe
This has become
interact?
a military operation.
it was. I was desperate. And one of those points was with a former NFL football player.
This
Used
is
to
one of
play
my
for the
favorite
Colts,
stories.
A friend named Ben Utek, who is a Herculean man. He is tall, dark, he's handsome, and he and his wife were talking to MŌRIAH and Wendy at one point in the night, and I thought, I need to be able to
Interject myself into this conversation.
a connect. And I need to interject myself into this conversation. So I walked up and I grabbed his enormous shoulder and I said, isn't this just a Hercules of a man?
No, I think you said, isn't he just a specimen?
I did say specimen. You're right. I said that is true. Actually, that was the word. But isn't he just a specimen?
Just objectified this
of
poor
a man. I mean, look at this man.
epistle.
He's sort of like Hercules. And everyone, MŌRIAH, Wendy, his wife, just were very uptight about the situation.
Uncomfortable.
And really, that was kind of the beginning and the end of the whole situation. I just left.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what else to do. So I sort of lingered for a second. I was like, and then I left. And then later that night, I did convince MŌRIAH to dance. And against her better judgment, she did dance with me, which was lovely, in her blouse. And then at the end of the night,
shorts.
and shorts.
She had great
She was fully clothed.
slacks on.
And then at the end of the night, you guys did the bubbles to usher you out.
Oh, the send off.
And I was actually talking about your dad. I was talking to your dad about your love for one another. Because I'd had a front row seat because Luke and I had been working together at the time.
You were there.
And I was a bit emotional. I was just saying how beautiful it is that you guys found each other. And Courtney, you had been sick at a point, and that was really part of your love
We
story.
were like a walk to remember for a while.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
like
For
our
real.
first stage one of our love.
Yeah.
It was.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Thank God it was a different ending. I mean, that movie.
Ain't dead.
So I lay
Guys,
Beautiful song.
what a good song.
back, and I don't want to live without.
see?
Anyway, all right, we're back.
See, that's where that came from.
So we had the bubbles, and I was emotional, and at the thing, and you were about to come out, but before, dear MŌRIAH, in her lavender blouse, blew a bubble at me,
Oh,
and it was a sign.
were you
Wait.
flirting?
Were you being flirtatious with him?
Or were you just being silly?
Yeah, I think I was flirting.
Oh.
I think
And I was
I don't
like,
remember this part of the story.
my
That's all he
homeschooler
needed.
self was like, you know what I'm going to do in reply to
Blow bubbles
creatively
back.
flirt.
Ew.
I'm going to do exactly the same thing
Can
that
you
she
tell
just
why
did for me.
I love him so much
So
more
I
today
blew
than
bubbles back
when we
at
met?
her. And I was sort of overzealous. So instead
No.
of, shocking. So instead of like actually blowing bubbles, I just blew the spit of the solution on her face. Just
So desperately
just
trying
kept
to,
going. Just
couldn't make a bubble. He was
And
hyperventilating it.
yet
I mean, he was so happy. He was
she
so happy.
chose to
No, the
marry
stray
me.
dog had found someone.
I
you know,
found
so-
someone.
Guys, I remember MŌRIAH, you were like in the front row, and she just was overjoyed, so happy. She just was like absorbing everything. Here's Joel like,
I will say this: us small bones
It's
probably
so
were a
sweet.
little bit too serious growing up. We were not very. It was one of the things I always loved about our dating relationship is you made me far more light-hearted. But we were always just very like focused and like to your point, like you naturally said it, like there's an object Like I'm gonna go and
No
I'm gonna
woman
figure out this
loves
way.
being called an object more than me. I will tell you.
Objective.
Yeah.
There was an objective. I will say this. The problem that Luke and I now have is the extraordinary confidence in life because you both married us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's your fault.
Sky's the limit.
that's right.
We were like,
That's
we
right.
must be pretty awesome.
Hitch your wagon, see where we'll take you.
Yes.
One of my
The wagon
favorite
has been
Just
hit.
wait.
one of my favorite stories. I'm gonna botch this a little bit, but it's a famous history story. Look it up; you'll get the exact details. But Winston Churchill was married, and there's this famous story about Winston Churchill going to meet some person, and the person wasn't as well-to-do as Winston was, and didn't come from the lineage of life and all those types of things. And he said to his wife, like, "Aren't you so glad you didn't marry so-and-so?" And she says back, "Oh, no. Because if I had married so-and-so, he would be in your seat." And it was like, it's just a crazy
would have
story
become
about
Winston
obviously the
Churchill.
confidence that truly a woman does actually give a man. And
vice versa.
Yeah, that's right.
Vice
I know.
versa. I do feel
That's right.
like for both Courtney and I, like
Yep.
I've never seen us question what we're bringing to the table. Like it's just
It's
we
pretty
know,
obvious.
We
I mean,
know what we're bringing
look
to the
at us.
table, and I think we both our whole lives have known that whoever it is we chose to give ourselves to,
That's right.
they were getting a lot.
A
But
gift.
You can say that
I
again.
will also say it's been beautiful to see the reverse take place because I don't think either of us had the expectation that anyone could provide and give back and lift up as much as we do. Naturally, it's who we are.
Yeah.
And seeing how Luke, how you pour into Courtney as a holistic human being, as not just a mom, not just a woman, not just a wife, but as a powerful entity. And you have breathed life into her dreams. You have challenged her to do more than she thinks she can do. Like that reality is so special. And I see that with you and me. Like you push me to do beyond what I think is possible. And I don't know, I think that's why doing something like a quartet or a double duet together is so special because there is such balance in our relationship. This is not a feature situation for a reason. Like we all, I think, equally pour into each other in ways that I would like to see normalized in the world.
Yeah. I love that, MŌRIAH. It's true. It's like it's both and. And you don't, it's uncommon. It's uncommon but I think that's literally, it's like, you see me and I see you. And sometimes we're too close to ourselves that we literally need someone to reflect and be like, hey, positive and negative. Why do you do that? Let's be real. Or have you thought about doing it differently? And you can do that, you know? And so it's like having that person in your corner that wants to see you grow. I just won't ever take that for granted. It's so uncommon.
It's interesting in relationships that Luke has actually looked at you more than you've ever looked at yourself. Like I've looked at MŌRIAH and she's looked at me more than any other human at this point. And spent more time with each other more than any other human at this point. Like at some point you surpass spending time with your parents
the
and
threshold.
your siblings.
Yeah.
And so it's a really interesting dichotomy of going, who actually knows you better? Like, do I know MŌRIAH better because I'm looking at her more than she's looking at herself. I'm seeing her, but I'm not in her skin. I'm literally one step removed, but yet I'm seeing her more than any other human. And so that level of objectivity that you can give each other. Now, obviously, as you well said, it can be weaponized and it can be used for good or for bad, and you can tear each other down or build each other up. But it's just a real interesting thought process of like that person. Part of the reason this covenant thing is so beautiful is because you're inviting someone in who did not birth you, who did not just born in the same family as you. You're inviting them in to your life to go see me in a way that might be even closer to the real me than I even see as myself, because I'm in my skin every day.
That brings a level of safety, comfort, and refinement.
It
Because
does.
even when I'm saying he'll come and be like, well, why? Like, I don't see that as negative. I see that as like, ooh, there's something there. There's something sensitive, or there's like a wound there, and maybe there's pus there. And then you have someone so close to you that's like,
Reflecting it back.
so what is that? And it's used for healing. It's like used for, and how many people do you trust or that are close enough to you to know everything, to know your strengths, to know your weakness, to know even your deepest wounds, and trust them. To look at them, even allowing them to touch them. Like, that is actually another level
It is the deepest of levels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, because that's a big moment when you decide this is the person I want to let in on every corner of my life forever.
Yeah.
When did you know that Luke was that person for you?
So it's interesting because I think it coincides with when I knew I wanted to marry him. I actually had a surgery when we were dating. I think I was 19, and it was to remove like a tumor on the left side of my ovary. And that's a very personal thing. Like, you're dating and it's like, hey, this might be attached. This could mean like I won't be able to have children. It was just a lot up in the air and a lot of serious things when you're like dating.
19?
It's 19. And so for me, after I had this surgery, he was the first to show me. He was like, look at your ovary. It's perfect. It's pink and the it's not attached to it. Like, they removed the problem, but you're totally
Did
fine.
you have like a picture? Or was
Yes,
that-
I had
you
a
had a
picture.
picture.
And he was there when I woke up from surgery, and he was so, and again, you go into surgery, you don't have makeup on, like,
not cute.
it's not
not
cute.
cute.
You're like in all the gowns and stuff. And I'm like half awake because I was drugged.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, what? And it was, first of all, that moment of, his excitement just over my health, but also he helped take care of me. My parents, obviously, they were helping, but then I preferred Luke to my parents at that point because he was so gentle with me. So it's hard to get up and go walk to the bathroom. So you're getting very like basic with each other very early, but it was, my parents were like, oh, she prefers him because of his gentleness. Like, they were just not as gentle. I was like, can you get Luke? Can you get Luke? Like, can Luke come get me? And like, Luke would literally just lift me up so I could go. And I was like, you are gentle. Like, you are kind. You can come as close, as you want to. But also, that's when I was like, I would marry you, because I was not someone who actually dreamt of getting married or any of this. Like, I just wasn't that person. But he changed all of that, because I was like, you're really true. You're really kind. Like, this is really better than by myself.
Oh,
Better than
wow.
by myself.
Better than
That's
by
the
myself.
third single.
Wow.
Better than by myself.
Better than by
That's
myself.
when you know, when you meet someone and you're like, this is
Because
better
I
than
was fine
by
up to that
myself.
point.
Yeah.
I was
Yes.
like, she's a good time. She's fine.
I don't need
She
to buy
knows what she
myself
brings to the
flowers
table.
because Luke can buy me flowers.
And and so that was the moment where I was like, I trust you to get so close to very sensitive, sensitive things.
Yeah.
Not even just like, emotional things,
Yeah.
the physical things, all of it.
Yeah.
But that was both for me. It was like, I trust you and I could marry you.
Wow.
Is when I chose you. So when was the time? I'll start with Joel.
Oh,
Yeah. When did you? Because I feel like it might be separate timing.
most
Just
definitely.
picking that out.
How
Just
did she
because.
But speaking of separate timing or
Yeah.
similar timing,
Yeah.
I might know this answer to the question,
Okay.
but I feel like the
Was it the
timing for
same
you
time?
was pretty similar of knowing.
Well, so when we were dating, we were really good friends for about 6 months, and then we dated for 9 months. And during those 9 months, there was quite a lot going on. You had that surgery. Courtney had a disease when she was 18 that nearly killed her. and she was still recovering from that. So so she would just get sick with everything. So her immune system was shot. And so for me, it was Christmas time, 2009. And I think you had the swine flu.
Sure did.
She had the swine flu.
I'm pretty sure Ben gave it to me, but that's a whole other conversation.
And so I
Ben.
think I had gone over to Europe for something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'd come back. And I think I went straight to the airport to see you, and you were not very well.
It wasn't.
And so it was, and the disease that she had attacked her lungs. And what it would do is sometimes fluid would start to build up back on her lungs again. And it would trigger all these, all this trauma from when she was really, really sick. And so your dad had gone to you and was like kind of, I think probably appropriately, but difficultly at the same time tough. Like, hey, if you don't keep, moving your lungs, you don't stay on it, like this could be something that keeps coming and you might be sick like this for, a while. And that was the type of stuff that we were talking about. And I went home after being with you. And those were, I was like, it was kind of like hard and heavy, like sad stuff, because if her lungs were still struggling, like what did that mean for the future? Like you got to have,
And you would have been
good
20?
I was 22. And so I went home after looking after you one evening, and Mom and Dad, I still lived at home. They kind of had this, the tradition in the household was Mom and Dad's, door, you could always just go in and, say goodnight. And so I saw Mom's, she had the light on, which meant she was reading, and she was just, up there reading. And I went and spoke to her and I said, Mom, there's all this going on with Courtney and I don't even know what happened, but I just like broke. And I just to be totally honest, I just kind of wept. And what I realized was, because after I was kind of like, and then eventually Dad came up and they didn't say anything. I'm a 22-year-old man, like still living at home once a kid, and I'm weeping and I'm talking to them about Courtney. And like in the following days, I was like, I wonder what Mom and Dad were thinking then, and what was going on in my heart. And I realized that was the moment I was like, oh, I want to really take care of her. Like, I want to have her. I want you to have my last name. I claim you. I will take care of all of it. And that was the moment. And when I looked back on that moment, that was when Mom and Dad realized he loves her. He loves
So
her.
crazy, because my parents knew too. They're like, she prefers him. She wants him. So it's interesting that we're like, we want each other.
And your grief is the cost of love. It's like when you're
I couldn't do
That's
anything.
right.
And what made me, I think what made me so
cared.
emotional was like I couldn't actually fix that, situation. And her dad was having some kind of, hey, honey, like we love you, but you're going to have to really stay on top of this to get well. And that was, for the first few years of our marriage, that was, a lot of the focus of and then I got sick. But
which is worth noting that like it started with him sort of caring for you so deeply, and then you had the opportunity, this whole in sickness and health, for you to return.
Yeah, we had basically fully lived out.
Carry him.
That's right.
Figuratively and sometimes literally.
Yes.
Yeah.
We had fully lived out our vows by our mid-20s, which is a wild thing to think through.
Wow. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
That's so beautiful.
It's like it's a hidden gift. The testing, like be tested and approved. Like fire should refine, fire should make gold, and it's like we hate it, like we're human. I never want to go back.
And I would say this, I've often said to a lot of, and look, we aren't, relationship experts or marriage experts, but I've said this for years, like to people that are dating, like if you haven't gone through any real testing, that's a little bit of a concern. Like you need to go through some hard things, because hard things will find you in your marriage. Right. It is inevitable.
You should go and get the swine flu.
And
just get the swine flu, see what happens.
And maybe I don't even know if the
Watch
swine flu is a thing, but that was it for us.
Should that be like dating advice? Like maybe not swine flu.
Your takeaway from this is go and get the swine flu.
Or flu
if
of
you're-
any sort and
if you're
watch
serious
that
about
person.
Yeah.
marrying.
See
Like-
how it goes.
And if they do a bad job,
All right. So
out.
then,
All right.
for you guys.
Yeah. So for us, mine is shorter and more romantic. So we'll give MŌRIAH the last word.
Oh, I'm excited.
Because
I already know Mariah's.
hers is sort of
I don't know if you do.
uncomfortable and fun. So there were two moments. One was actually the wedding.
Yeah.
During that season, I audio journaled. I'm a verbal processor, and so there is somewhere floating around in the depths of my voice memos. There is a memo from June 26, 2010, that said something to the effect of, I think, let me pull it out, see if I can find
No
it.
way.
No, I'm joking.
I thought we weren't doing that.
But
you know?
So far back.
That I say literally, I think I met a girl named MŌRIAH tonight.
Oh, she didn't even know her name.
Breathe.
That's funny. I didn't know that. I know most things. I didn't know that.
That's how you know you're in
And-
Franklin, Tennessee, y'all.
And I think
That's right.
I think I would. She might be my wife one day. So that was the first like. That's how smitten and overwhelmed I was.
Hence the specimen comment.
Yeah, specimen. So there was that moment, and then about a year and a half later, so we dated, and MŌRIAH's parents, so we're in our studio apartment here, just so you know where to augment yourself. And MŌRIAH's parents actually live across the way now, and they've always been incredibly kind and supportive of our relationship. And they had invited me, Patricia, my mother-in-law, had invited me for Christmas. So this was
Not me, my mom.
2011.
Whoa.
And
Hey,
Rebecca,
that's not a bad move, though.
Rebecca was
Not a
living.
bad strategy.
Rebecca and Cubby were living in San Diego at the time, and
Okay.
we were driving down. This was late 2011. We were driving down to visit them down the PCH, and prior to that, I had told MŌRIAH that I loved her on a Southwest flight, and she had responded by saying, "I need to go to the toilet," and she this had been months since I had professed my love for this woman, and she had not reciprocated. So she went to the bathroom on the Southwest flight. She came back, and when we landed, she said, "Okay," because we're flying to Nashville, and she said, "Okay, just you can say it, but just don't say it too much." So I sort of refrained.
There's
from
not a
saying
lot. She's a little bit ashamed.
So we're driving down the PCH to see Beck and
not
Cubby.
terribly pleased with herself.
And it's, August, September, somewhere in there. And I was like, "Your parents have invited me to come for Christmas." And she was like, "I don't know if that's a good idea."
Oh, yeah.
And I was...
It's so sad.
was-
It's
there-
like a
there's-
tragedy.
there's more to
People
this story.
think
So-
that this song is just loving.
So-
Everything was
and
right.
I was...
It was rough.
I was devastated. And I was kind of at the point of like, I should probably we should probably not do this. Like, I was probably just, I think we're two really different spots in life, and I respect that. But like,
Is that when you guys had your break?
so no, not quite. So we pulled off to the side of the PCH. They have those little kind of overlooks of the ocean, and I was just speaking of weeping, I was just a basket case. And
Leave it to
and
the small bones to shed
she
tears.
had come out, but we were standing there. I was just looking, and the sun was setting. It was actually a very picturesque moment. And she'd come out. She'd wrapped her arms around from behind around my neck, and she just very calmly, very softly said, "I love you." And guys, girls, people,
Of all ages.
I levitated. Like it was such a thing, because it sounds cruel to not reciprocate the "I love you."
Yeah.
But I would advocate for it, actually, because if she just had to set it back, I would have been like, "Yeah, but did you just," because I just, But the fact that she said it, that it was in this moment of deep need, and there was nothing to say. There was nothing that could set it right, except for those three words. And I was like, game, set, match. I'm in. And I got to realize, and this will tie into sort of probably what she's about to tell you, that one of the things she was really working through was fear during that time. And if you followed a lot of the breadcrumbs of why she didn't feel like I'd come to Christmas, and why we couldn't take a step forward or whatnot. It was fear. You know, that was the thing she had to work out. So there it is.
Well, here we go, ladies
Come
and
on,
gentlemen.
suit up, everyone.
Oh, this is the thing though, is that like the whole like he's so into her, she's not. She kind of trails him along. Like that's a really cool game. I wish I could have played it.
Darling,
I was
this
not
is a
playing
safe-
any games.
Excuse me, this is a safe space.
I
was
was
serious.
genuinely like IBS level anxiety over
true.
not just Joel and romance and my first boyfriend, but like moving away from my family, being in Tennessee, like being on my first flight ever at 17. Like there was a lot going on. And I think it's maybe because I'm tall. It just looked like I had it all together. But deep down, you guys, there was a lot of tumultuous feelings happening. And I think to answer your question, you asked like, when did you know that you wanted to get married? I think I also have to answer the question of when did you know you loved that person? Because those are two different timelines, two different things. I knew I loved Joel. Yes, when I said it the first time, that was something I definitely like thought about and it felt like an overflow. But I think I knew I loved him and I started picturing, it became increasingly difficult to picture my future without him.
Yeah.
After we took our little break. We had just that moment of, okay, we are on two
Wait, so
different
the I love you
pages
moment was
after
11, and then this was a year later. This was 2012.
I remember.
The end of
the break
2012.
was 2012.
Yeah.
So we had said the I love yous, but anytime Joel talked about marriage, I just started squirming and I was uncomfortable and I didn't want to talk about it. And I was just young and scared and immature and also, because I think age in this context has more to do with like your reality or your community.
For sure.
And I grew up in a place where people didn't get married and they didn't, and if they did, it was way later in life. And so it was just very unusual to me. The idea that this person would want to marry someone at that time, I was 19, 20.
Yeah.
So it was just scary. And so we took a little break because I think one of the straws that broke the camel's back was that I kept calling marriage the M word. I wouldn't even say it. So we took 21 days apart, and during those 21
over
days,
Christmas and New Year's, it was. You remember it was.
was
I have a
very.
picture of you at
You
that
don't
time.
know what you have until it's
That's
not
right.
there.
Yeah.
And Joel has always been very available and very present, and it's one of the most beautiful things about this steadfast relationship and love that we have. But feeling it taken away for a moment was like, I couldn't calibrate. And I felt like, and maybe because it was early and we were young, there was some codependence wrapped up in that. But I just realized that I had started to build my reality and my world around this person. And it didn't feel wrong for the first time. And so I knew I loved him then. When I knew for sure that I was like, I want to marry this person.
This year, she figured it out. She was like, it's like, I think 12 years in.
No one has ever asked us this question.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry in advance for how uncomfortable this is going to be. But I can honestly say that the moment I was 100% sure, without a shadow of a doubt, this is the person I want to marry, and I want to spend the rest of my life with him, and there's nothing holding me back, and I have fully given myself to this idea of committing myself to this person for the rest of my life, was right before walking down the aisle. Yeah.
That's not surprising.
Okay, great. Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's not
Wait,
I mean,
so
I'm
let's
not
just clear a couple things up. Did you or did you not know this answer?
You're not surprised
No,
by it,
because
I suppose,
the way that I grew to understand us and MŌRIAH Well, and first of all, we need to recognize that there's an age difference between us.
Yeah.
Less so between you two,
Yeah.
but you know, you were young. Like
We were young together in some cases.
Like our
Yeah.
brains weren't
And-
complete, growing. Like technically,
we were young
it's
because we
shocking.
never went to school. You know,
What? No.
Don't say that.
we were young relationally as well, and so I had realized along the way that part of our dynamic in this was, I'm going to like. I have assurance, and this is what I love about marriage too. There are points where like one
Yeah.
party goes, I
You're
have
right.
assurance,
You're so right.
and I have faith. Like I really know,
Yeah.
like I know this thing,
Yep.
and then you see in your partner, or in this case, you know, girlfriend and fiance, oh, there's a level of fear. But I never felt the fear reflected at me. I
Yeah.
felt the
Yes,
That
fear.
actually makes total sense.
It had so little to do with
That's right.
you and so
It's the
much
idea.
more to do with, yes, the idea, but also I've learned along the way that there are a lot of women like me, contrary to what we might think or believe, where the idea of marriage isn't this glowy, happy, rosy,
It's a
exciting
cage.
thing. It's scary, and it represents, you know, maybe some of the broken marriages that you've seen in your life, or the abusive relationships you've seen, and the idea of losing your independence and yielding to a lifetime commitment to someone else who you are, like Courtney so well said, allowing to get as close as they want.
That's right.
Like that's terrifying.
It's
It's
terrifying.
terrifying. And the good news is that it doesn't have to be a decision that we make or live out on our own. I feel like I had my family's full support
Yeah.
of our relationship. I felt your guys' full support of our relationship. I felt like my closest friends who had vetted Joel for
Yeah.
years were like, he's amazing. And so it's almost like I clinically knew that
Yeah.
we were supposed to be together
Yeah.
before feeling it
Yes.
intuitively. So I will say, when the moment did come, right before walking down the aisle, I feel like that is such a wonderful feeling and such a beautiful feeling. And I don't necessarily take pride in how late I was in the process. I think people who can look to marriage and to life partnership and be open and eager and excited the way that you were is beautiful. And that is just a gift that you were given.
Yeah.
And we complement each other in different ways. We have different strengths, but I'm really thankful that like one of us was ready to go.
It's the tea leaves, right? So similar to you guys, when we got engaged, it was we had a dinner, and I'd flown her family and all the rest of it, and it was very overwhelming for her. And the one person she wanted to cling to was me. She didn't want to go to her parents. She
That's
wasn't
right.
like,
Yeah.
it wasn't anyone else. It
Yeah.
wasn't her friends. It was me. And it was similar. If you remember the week of our wedding, we did the classics, just separate for before the wedding, and my family was there, and people had flown in from Australia, and so I was really focused on them, and she was really like, but I need you.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was, so again, it was the tea leaves. It's going, okay, well, I'm seeing her love and being chosen by her. So it's all
Thanks
Geronimo.
for hanging in there, Jolie.
Here we are. Marriage advice. This is always hard because Luke said it earlier. We are not professionals.
I've got mine.
Let's go,
Courtney
babes.
is the only
Start
professional
us off.
here.
I was like, speak for yourselves. This one's been my back pocket.
Go.
We got this at our prep for marriage. We did multiple prep for marriage. So, because we were just overachievers, but also there's fear involved.
Yeah.
Remember,
Good to
there was
prepare.
one prep of
Prep
marriage.
for
He had
marriage.
a laser light.
What?
Liked
Yeah.
that guy.
Yeah.
He was very logical. Like, who's doing this? Who's doing that? It doesn't seem great now, but like it will matter. And I'm like, I like that guy.
Yeah.
Then we did Wind Shape, prep for marriage, also great. And I believe it was at Wind Shape that they spoke about beware of the slow drift.
Yeah.
They said beware of the slow drift, that in communication, in your emotions and all of it, don't let don't let it happen. So it's like maybe one day you're like, oh, we've not connected, or I've not really told him. It's like that's the slow drift that becomes big craters or big tears in a relationship. And so something that I believe that has kept us coming on 16 years this year is keep our relationship sacred, but also in keeping it sacred, like communication is huge. It's like, what's going on in your heart? What's going on in my heart? Like, just not giving any inch to be able to become a fracture.
It's good.
Is like,
it's good.
Been something that I hold on to.
Love that.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's like business advice.
Yeah.
Right?
I will say
I mean, it's
this.
a covenant.
Yeah,
It
that's
is.
right.
It's
Technically is business.
the co-CEOs of your
Right?
marriage.
That's
Yeah.
true.
So when you're growing up and you hear people talk about marriage and they you've heard the statement like be quick to forgive. And the truth is that is always good wisdom. But it's very, very difficult to live out in your marriage. But the people that are
The good news is the only time I hold grudges is when it's the right thing to do.
That's right.
Of course.
One of the things that I realized pretty early on in marriage is it's just very important to give your spouse grace inside your marriage, because a lot of times I think what happens in marriage is you want them to give you grace, but you're actually very slow to actually give it to them. And I think that I in marriage, when you have a disagreement, someone's always got to go first. And so there's got to be a little bit of humility in going, maybe I biffed this. And I think the quicker in marriage that you can acknowledge, hey, I'm going to go first here, right, wrong, or indifferent. I can own the 1% or the 2% or maybe 100%. Maybe it's all on you. But the quicker you can get to forgiving and showing grace to your spouse, what ends up happening in marriage is if you're quick to do that, they're actually usually quick to do that towards you as well, because they see you putting forth the effort to reconcile, to forgive, to give grace. And I think if I had probably, anything that I wish that I had probably learned to do better and quicker would be to do that very thing in our marriage early on, just to, I'm very logical, to make sure that I'm just trying to see things from her side, from her point of view, and to give grace and compassion, because usually when your spouse sees that in you, they're very quick to want to do the same in reverse. And that's when you're the Bible talks about outdoing each other with good. I think in marriage, when you're practicing those things, I think that's when you start to outdo each other in good, and your marriage just becomes fun. Even when things get difficult, it can still be lighthearted because you're quick to forgive.
That's good.
Here.
You're here.
Very sweet. Shall you?
Shall you?
Ooh. Yes. Perhaps 'tis because we are fresh off
Old English.
what I'm about to say. But I would encourage anybody, individually and especially in a committed relationship, to go on a device detox once a year. We've been doing it since our first year of marriage. We started off barely being able to handle 24 hours of our phones being off.
And by we, me.
Yeah.
I was like, can I just have like 45 minutes?
Very toxic.
What if Luke texts me?
I was like, we have some addiction issues we need to work through here with the phone. And that's a very real thing. In 2026, the phone,
Yes.
because it's also called a data diet, I hear, it takes up so much space and capacity in our hearts and minds and conversations. And it's very difficult to be present at any point because of all of the things that are happening on our phones and demanding attention from us. But the person I want to give my attention to the most on this planet is my partner, is Joel. And, today marks the first day for us turning our phones back on. We turned them on this morning. And now we're up to a week. We can turn our phones off for a week. We prepare our teams. We make sure that we're handling it responsibly. But this last week, the times that I just looked at you because I had nothing else to look at was fantastic.
Yeah, it got a little awkward at some point. It was like,
It was nice.
No, I'm
It
joking.
was nice to
great.
just like appreciate every detail about you, and like instead of being productive,
filling all the gaps. You end up filling in all the gaps.
Gosh,
it
that's
was like,
real.
and then the things that we were able to discuss because we had capacity for conversation and on new levels was just fantastic. So device detox, data diet, try it.
Yes.
So good.
Amen. And she's been a champion of that. I'll give you a little Jesus Christ mic drop at the end. But before that, I would offer that opposites attract, but don't necessarily make great life partners. So they attract each other
Controversial.
because
I love it.
You're so different. Gee whiz, I never thought about it like that. And there's a beauty to having sort of varying opinions on things. But what we have found, and I'm only speaking from experience, is that actual commonality, like the way you see God, the way you see life, the things you love and enjoy doing, those pieces are actually the glue that keeps you intact. Go and have a meal together. And yes, there's obviously personality differences. Like you and Luke are such good balance for each other. And so I'm not speaking against that. Like you're a go-getter and much more open, and passionate and outgoing, and Luke's a peacemaker. And like, so I love the way you guys blend with each other. And MŌRIAH and I have our own differences, personalities as well, but that commonality and that similarity has been a beautiful thing for us. And then I'll say this lastly to the men. These are not my words. Lay down your life for your wife as Christ did for the church. I think it's St. Paul that said it. And I'm like, men, what would the world look like if we actually legitimately practice that grace that you were talking about, Luke, that ability to go, I'm going to lay it down. We want to pick up the sword, pick up the armor, like pick up the fist, and it's like, no, you're going to lay down your life. And so, I feel it's a high call, and it's and a profound one. So that might be,
I think that's it. So
the end.
So good.
Ever and ever before.
Thank you for joining
out.
us for this 2 hour and 45
I know, this is
minutes.
gone for a second. Who knows how long it'll actually end up
You've
being.
made it to the end.
You
But-
did.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
To the end of this conversation.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for being
Listening.
along this ride and listening. But go enjoy Ever and Ever Before. And guys, I've learned some things about you all that I didn't know.
Yes.
Likewise.
Which is fascinating because I know most everything about you two.
Oh, do you now, Lukey?
Let's do it again sometime. Thank you for joining us. Hey, thank you for loving on us as couples. And we always feel your belief and your
For reals.
generosity.
You guys are the nicest.
Yeah. Thank you for
Most
watching.
supportive.
Thank you for listening. It's an honor on behalf of the four of us, an honor to sing for you. And we hope wherever you are on your life journey, whether you're single, separated, divorced, together, in the best moment of your life, your hardest moment, our hope is that this song will meet you where you are and spur you on. So carry on from MŌRIAH, Courtney, Luke, and Joel. For King and Country, for Queen and County,
Hey.
signing off.
Boom.